So, hi, everybody. Good to see you. Thank you all very much for being here. Thank you for joining me, and welcome to another edition of Step Chat. For those of you that I have not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Steve Jones. I am the executive director of Float and of Aloft and of Fulcrum and a couple other projects here and there. And I look forward to chatting with you tonight as we explore the Floativerse together. So, folks, thank you once again for joining me here on another episode of Step Chat, episode 274, as a matter of fact, which means next week is another milestone episode. We'll be at episode 275. So, thank you very much for joining me along this journey. As of Friday, July 25th, we are now less than 6 months away from Float 2026. I do also want to remind everybody that our good friend Mia Asano is joining us once again at Float. Very excited to have her with us. Very, very, very excited to have her with us. We do have something that is very, very pressing, and that is that the July 31st deadline is almost here. For those of you that have not yet registered for Float and you want to take part in the payment plan program, you have until Thursday to get signed up. You will go to floatconvention.com/pricing. That is where you can get the whole breakdown on it. And also, it is very important. It is very important that you take the time to read the terms of service in reference to this plan. Well, the big news of last week was that the sponsorships for Float 2026 finally opened. Tonight, what we're going to do is share with you a lot of the sponsorships that have been picked up. So that we can all kind of keep score at home and see what's going on. When it comes to our live events, there was one event that took center stage that everybody jumped on as soon as possible, and that is the Float Designer Awards Gala, our tribute to our friend Tommy DeLorenzo, who passed away last year. We want to give a big round of applause to our friends at Vitalik, Gemar, Calasan, and Highshine, all for jumping on board and participating in the decor for the Designer Awards Gala. Our friends at Vitalik took the stage sponsorship, so they'll be decorating the stage for the night. I want to thank our friends at Gemar. Gemar took over the sponsorship of the entrance decor for the gala, so that's always great. Our friends at Calasan picked up the room accent decor. That's the side walls, the rear wall, and anything if they want to do it on the ceiling. And then, of course, our friends at Highshine scooped up the Shine sponsorship for the event. As of right now, the only balloon decor element still available for the Designer Awards Gala is the table centerpieces. However, there was also a lot of interest in one of our other functions that took place at the event, and that was the Float Jam Room. We are thrilled to share with you that 6 different companies are sponsoring the Jam Room at this time with sponsor tables. We want to give it up to our friends at Anagram, Vitalik, Elatex, Gemar, Tuftex, and All American Balloons for scooping up tables in the Float Jam Room. This means there are still 4 sponsorship tables available. I do want to give a big shout out to our friends at Balloonia, who also swept in and scooped up one of our master classes coming to Float. The ridiculously talented Adrian Winfrey from Captivating Balloons is now going to be sponsored by our friends at Balloonia. We still have sponsorships available of the other masterclass instructors. So Jason Sakota, Stacy Chase, and Josh Dirks are all still available for sponsorship as well. Now let's talk about the competitions. There was a little bit of activity on those as well. Very glad to say. So let's start off with sculpture design. We are thrilled to share with you that our friends at Gemar and Highshine both came on board with the sculpture design competition. Gemar, of course, will be providing all of the latex balloons for this particular sculpture competition. Our friends at Highshine will be sponsoring the Shine product. So thank you very much. Dan Staples, do you only have to use Gemar balloons? Yes. If a manufacturer is sponsoring the competition, you have to use only Gemar balloons. The good news is they will provide them for you. That's the deal. So we already talked about this one, but our entrance decor competition, of course, is being sponsored by our friends at Anagram. This was part of their island package. The column design competition, the brand new column design competition. This is taking place on Saturday, the 2:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Sorry, my brain is rotting right now. Presented in part by our friends at Gemar. Again, another part of the competition series. This is a brand new competition for us. This particular design was actually submitted by Adrienne Winfrey as her award-winning column design from the Floaties in 2022. The organic decor competition, always a popular entry. This one here is, of course, Alyssa Lane who did this one. This is going to be taking place on Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, 8 o'clock to 12 p.m., presented in part by our friends at Betalic. Now, you'll notice that we are not jumping to the centerpiece competition yet. That is because as of today, we do not have a sponsor for the centerpiece competition, which is interesting if you think about it, because with the Designer Awards Gala, what's the only decor element that we're missing? Table centerpiece. What's the only competition that's not been picked up yet in the competition series? Table centerpiece. But again, now keep in mind, the table centerpiece competition will take place regardless, okay? It is going to happen regardless of whether or not we have a sponsor, because that is part of the Designer of the Year Championship Series. So that has to be done. As far as our deadline competitions go, I'm thrilled to share with you that our delivery piece competition has once again been sponsored by our friends at High Float. So thank you very much to High Float for picking up the delivery piece competition, which of course will mean that High Float will have to be incorporated in your design. Now, when it comes to the convention decor, we had technically 13 decor possibilities. Now, these, by what I'm talking about here, these are not parts of the social events. These are decor elements that are going to be available all the time. Stuff that from start to finish. This will be up during the course of the convention. The convention entrance hallway. We have a 215-foot long hallway that leads directly into the atrium. So that was up for grabs this year. The Grand Ballroom entrance and the Crystal Ballroom entrance. These are two that are in the atrium that open up into main cavity spaces where there's lots of stuff taking place inside. The competition room entrance is open. The vendor showcase entrance, which is 28 feet wide and double-sided. Then you've got 5 different photo stations and, of course, the Wall of Awesome. The convention entrance hallway, the vendor showcase entrance, and all five of the photo op stations are sponsored and gone. So of these elements, all that remains are the Grand Ballroom entrance, the Crystal Ballroom entrance, the competition room entrance, and the Wall of Awesome. With that being said, let's give some shout outs to the folks who did pick up some decor. That big, long convention hallway I told you about, that's thanks to our friends at Betalic for picking that up. The vendor showcase entrance, the 28-foot wide, double-sided entrance for that, picked up by our friends at Calisan. Thank you very much to Calisan for doing that. 5 photo op stations picked up by our friends at Betalic, Gemar, Calisan, and Toy World. Now, I know what you're thinking. Steve, I can do first grade math. You said 5 photo op stations. There's only 4 brands there. That's right, because our friends at Toy World sponsored 2 of them. Not to be outdone, there are other sponsorships that have been picked up as well. We want to give a shout out to those individuals at this time. Going back once again to our friends at Toy World, we want to give a big shout out to them because, again, it never fails. The first thing to get bought every time, the first sponsorship out the door every time are the lanyards. And Toy World was like, boom, like literally seconds after that, the links went out, the lanyards were gone. Our friends at Toy World picked them up, and I'm happy to share with you, they also picked up a promotional registration, which means at some point in the very near future, Toy World and Float will be coordinating a free registration giveaway. So thank you very much for that. Our friends at PS Helium, they went big time this time. Not only did they pick up one of the t-shirt sponsorships, but they also picked up one of the hotel room key card sponsorships. So for the first time ever at Float, when you check in, there's a good possibility that you're going to get a key card with one of our sponsors on it because they're being custom printed for the event. Balloonia missed out on the opportunity to sponsor general classes at Float, and they really made their presence known here because not only did they pick up Adrian Winfrey, they also purchased a bonus class, which means they're going to be sponsoring an instructor in our bonus classes. They also picked up one of the sponsored sessions. Those are the 60-minute sessions where the sponsor basically gets to do anything they want. So I have a feeling there's going to be another class featured there. And they picked up one of our featured Jam Room talent. So we're very excited to find out who that's going to be coming your way soon. Give a big shout out to our friends here in the Seattle area at MSR Balloons. They became one of our t-shirt sponsors. With PS Helium and MSR, that now means there are only 2 remaining t-shirt sponsorships. Our friends at All American, I told you before, we weren't done with them yet. All American, not only did they sponsor one of the tables in the Jam Room, but they also picked up another Jam Room featured talent, which means they're going to be bringing a rock star to the Jam Room. And they are sponsoring one of the Jam Room contests. One of our newer sponsors from Balloonery.com, they actually were part of the last float. They came as attendees. They were at Fulcrum. They were part of the fun at Fulcrum, but now they have picked up a sponsored session at Float. So they're going to present to you all the fun stuff they have to offer in one of our sponsored sessions. Our good friend Nicole from Let Nicole Help. Nicole, it turns out, is not going to be able to join us this year at the event. So she picked up what is known as a digital sponsorship. She is going to be credited as one of our sponsors, but all of her marketing and all of her promotion stuff will be done remotely. And our first sponsored Floaty Award is officially in the history books. Joette from BalloonCoach.com picked up the Arch Design Floaty Award. Now, I mentioned this earlier, and I do want to talk about it. So last week, when we were talking about the Monday soiree, we were talking about that the party was scheduled to take place at Club Lex nightclub in the Grand Sierra Hotel. However, there was a conversation or a debate as to whether or not that was going to happen. And the answer is, it is now not going to happen. The Club Lex nightclub is slated for demolition sometime in October. As of right now, the room decor concept is set up. Remember, this was set up as if this was going to be for the nightclub. And so the room decor sponsorship was the entire space, because we weren't sure if there was going to be a stage. We weren't sure what was going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Well, now we know. Now we know there's going to have to be some kind of stage. Technically speaking, we should be sponsoring stage decor and accent decor. So if you're one of our sponsors and you're paying attention right now, heed my words. I'm going to leave the sponsorship the way it is for a week. So if you want to grab the stage and the room decor for one price, do it now. Because by this time next week, by the time Step Chat airs next week, I promise you that won't be the case anymore. So if somebody grabs it before then, I will gladly honor it, and that's good to go. But if nobody picks it up between now and next weekend, next Sunday, there's going to be a separate stage decor sponsorship and a separate accent decor sponsorship. I do want to take this opportunity to remind everybody that the sponsorship packet that was sent out last week has been modified. Couple things have been done. First of all, the stuff that is sold out has now been marked as sold out in the packet. So people aren't like going to the website to find out that they're sold out. They see it in the packet and they know, oh, that's gone. In addition to that, we have now placed hot links in the packet so that if there is something that you want to purchase, you can just click on the price of the item and it'll take you right to the appropriate registration page. Now, I do want to take just a moment to talk about the vendor showcase. We are starting to get new interest. In the last week, we've been approached by at least 4 different companies that have never been part of Float, that are like, hey, can you send me some information about being a vendor? many people have reached out and be like, "Oh, can you hold that booth for me? Can you this, can you that?" We are not there anymore. We are now within 6 months of the convention. We are going to start seeing more and more interest. Booths are going to go on a first come, first purchased basis. So if you want a booth at Float and you're like, I'm thinking about this one, I'm thinking about that one, you better get it. The vendor showcased packet has also been updated to include the same hot links. So when you get the vendor showcase packet now, if you click on any booth, it'll take you right to the registration page. Okay. So there's that. As of right now, it is my intention. The nice thing is this week is fairly slow here at the Floatress of Solitude. So it is my intention this week to catch up on everything at one time. So the Float website right now, if you're one of our sponsors or one of our vendors and you're like, hey, why am I not there yet? I promise you, you will be very, very soon. Let's get to Aloft. This is our 24-hour streaming service that we offer through Float. Aloft features 150 classes, videos, podcast episodes, and more, presented by some of the industry's finest talent. Really, really, really good stuff there. Yeah, very, very excited. Very good stuff there. And of course, as a member, which you can join for as little as $10 a month, paid either in 6-month increments or annually, you can get access to all of these videos 24/7. And it's a great system. And by the way, I'm not making any promises yet, but we are looking into whether or not the new Float app will support this as well. Again, I want to remind everybody that Dawn Gertman's class that was supposed to be this Tuesday has been backed up for 1 week. So the new date of Dawn's class, Inflation plus Floral equals Fabulous, is August 5th. Not this coming Tuesday, next Tuesday. Same time, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. But the date is changed by a week. For those of you that are members of Aloft, do absolutely nothing. You will be sent the invite and the login information on Monday, August 4th. If you are not a member of Aloft, you can join Aloft, or you can sign up at floatconvention.com/orange store. That's orange like the color, store like the retail, and you can sign up for just $25. That includes not only access to the live class, but it also includes a digital download recording of the class when it's over. So we want to welcome Jessimar Claro with Getting Returns on Your Reels. This is going to be coming up on August 19th, also at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. Jesse's going to be teaching you on how to get better returns on your video content on your social media platforms. So with that being said, let's get to our Step Chat survey. The question today was, when you make your purchases of balloons and supplies, what is your primary reason for choosing the company you choose? And the answers were, is it location / shipping times? Is it price? Is it selection? Is it a personal relationship you have with the sponsor the distributor? Or is it something else that we don't know about? As of this afternoon, the vast majority of you, 56% of the survey respondents, selected location / proximity to shipping times. But so most of you tend to go with whoever's closest so you can get the product the fastest for the cheapest price. I'd like to take this time to thank everybody for participating in the survey. So thank you very much for that. For those of you that are academic registrations and foundational registrations, the training classes, those of you, the Float Notes episode 3 or issue number 3 was sent out on Wednesday, July 23rd. So if you've not yet received it, start looking for it. However, it is important to note that if you were on the payment plan, you didn't get an issue of Float Notes number 3. This is on purpose. This is why I said earlier that you need to read your terms of service or review the terms of service. Until your registration is paid off in the payment plan, you are not eligible. You are not considered actually registered. That comes after your payments are completed. Okay? So you're not getting the link to the discounted room for the hotel because you're not fully paid yet. Once it's fully paid, you can do that. And if you're one of those people in the payment plan, you're like, well, you know what? I'd rather just get this done. Can I make you a blank payment? I'm sure we can work. I'm sure we can figure that out. But for now, that's how this works. In the email that was sent to you on July 23rd, if you are registered to attend Float 2026 as an academic attendee, whether you are a full academic attendee or one of the foundational attendees, you are eligible to be a member of the Float Forum. This is a private Facebook group that we have. It is dedicated exclusively just for people coming to the convention. So it's very small. There's only a couple hundred people in it. But it's great because you get concentrated answers. So if you're one of those people that's looking to get 1,000 people interacting with you, if you're praying for 1,000 likes or something, you're not going to get it. But if you want solid answers from people that know what the hell they're doing, then why are you not a member of the forum? Remember, you must be registered for Float to join the forum. This next topic of conversation, we'll be getting some questions about the hotel. I have 2 questions this week that I've been getting from people. Technically 3, but I didn't include this one as an actual frame, but we can do it here shortly. The first question I've been getting a lot of lately is this. Somehow this is being bizarre. Am I allowed to have a roommate at Float in Reno? Yes, you are allowed to have roommates at Float. The restriction involves those who are participating in the foundational program. This is the beginner level program. And the stipulation is they must be the primary room holder on the reservation. Now, what does this mean? It does not mean you have to have your own room. It means your credit card has to be the one paying for the room. You can have roommate. You can have roommates. But you cannot be someone else's roommate. That is the rule. And obviously we have roommates available because there is a link in the Float Facebook group pinned to the top of the page. People looking for a roommate, post here. Here is the other question that was initially driving me crazy until I realized what they were really saying. Steve, I can't find the discount code for the Grand Sierra Resort in the email. Where is it? The bottom line is that the discount is already built into the hotel link in the Float Notes emails. So when you click on the link and it takes you to book a room, it's already discounted. So that is the rate of the event. Okay. Now, the question that I didn't post or I didn't make a slide for, really didn't think about it. And it's not really a question, but it's more of an expansion on this. I've had a couple people reach out going, dear God, you said we got a discount on these rooms and they're like 200 something bucks a piece. The 200 something dollar a night rooms are the suite upgrades. So if you want to have a luxury suite instead of a standard room at Float, those are the prices for the luxury suites. I do want to remind everybody once again that Float is on YouTube at youtube.com/@thefloativerse. We would greatly appreciate it if you're active on YouTube. We would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, like this post when it gets done, or like our posts when they're done, share the content with people you know. It really helps drive, the whole, it drives our presence on the channel. So we would greatly appreciate that. Obviously, we're doing episode 274 right now here on Facebook. Tomorrow, the full episode of the recording will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. And then on Tuesday, the abbreviated summary version, which is be anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, will be up. So for those of you that have just too busy lives that you can't sit here and join me, but you want the abridged version, that'll be uploaded on Tuesday. Want to give a big shout out to our good friend Lisa McIntyre, who will be hosting Kicking Back with Lisa Mac once again. This episode will be taking place this coming Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's right. And whatever the hell time it is where you are. This is our virtual happy hour hosted by Lisa every week. The show takes place right here on the Facebook page, but the link is posted in the Float the Convention group. For privacy's sake, the first hour of the show is broadcast live on this page. You can either join the call live by clicking on the link, or you can simply leave comments and comment live, and Lisa will react to those comments every once in a while. The second half of the show is done what's called after party mode. They click off of Facebook. That's when actually a lot of people get on the call because they just don't necessarily want their stuff broadcast live. And so the party goes on until everybody decides they're done talking. May I note that our next episode of Kick It Back with Lisa Mack International Style will be taking place on Tuesday, August 5th. That'll be taking place before Dawn's class. Okay. This will be taking place at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. And yes, whatever the hell time it is where you are. This is where Lisa adjusts the timing of the show, because the problem is her regular show takes place oftentimes in the middle of the night in some of these other countries in Europe and what have you. And so Lisa does the show much earlier in the day so that her friends from overseas can get on the call and participate as well. I think it's a wonderful idea. I'm so glad she started doing it. And that special episode will be aired on Tuesday, August 5th. So Dan had a question. Let me go back here and do it. Is there a general ballpark of when you'll be talking about competition signups rules and all that stuff? Yes. The competition elements are still being discussed and evaluated. More than likely, the competitions will open in October. Sherry asked a question earlier. Have the headshots been sponsored yet? The answer is no. They have not yet been sponsored. But keep in mind, I have secured at least 1 day of headshots at Float. So let's see here. Paul, here's a good question. Has there been any conversation on real-time photo sharing and networking tech often used at big conferences? That's a great question. Yeah, we have talked about it. In fact, I know that one of my crew members is working on something like that. The other thing to keep in mind about a lot of these services is that they are very expensive. A lot of the big conferences like that use a lot of this tech, it's not cheap. It's 5 figures worth of cost. I know this for a fact because we've researched it before. Plus, this is something we have, like I said before, we have purchased an app that we're going to be putting into play. And that is going to be it's very possible that is also something that can be used and can be done through the app. It is our intention to keep the app going all the time. The Float app is not just necessarily something you're going to use while you're at Float. For those of you that are going to other Float events, as we've talked about, it'll be programmed for Fulcrum. It'll be programmed for. Oh, you almost caught me, didn't you? The other new event we're working on. Obviously, with future floats, we're looking at the possibility of running the Aloft memberships through there as well, so that the people can access their Aloft content through the app as well. So we're looking into all of this to see if this is a capability that we can do. Becky, I want to help out again with the bags, but I definitely won't go in uniform. That's funny. Becky, we are actually not going to have delegates be involved in the bags this time. We are going to have an outside group handle the tote bags. Okay, guys. Well, thank you all very much for being here. Really appreciate it. We will see you all next Sunday here on The Step.